Alright, we are back with another game. This time it is for the amateur bracket, Season 8. This is the top 16, and it is going to be a crane mirror, Jeremy versus kinganj, one of the two, probably. And let's see what we have here. So both players going to find a favorable ground. Kinganj finds Guest of Honor. That is a very strong card in this matchup, and he is just going to spend all of his fate on it immediately. Definitely a card that you want to have on the board for as long as possible. Mizumi can realistically only play one of these characters, so he'll have to choose which one he wants to play. I think you probably go with Kudaka. She's a little bit more flexible. Let's see what the players are running here. No Cloud the Mind, it looks like, so Kudaka will not turn on that. I think you probably still play her, though. Ooh, wow, he passes. So I think this means that he probably has a political rival in hand and just wants to deny as much passing fate as possible. Keep kinganj at 0 fate there. If that is the case, then that does seem like a good play. We see a Way of the Crane, gonna honor this Guest of Honor. Storehouse drew a card. And Artisan Academy can quote-unquote draw a card in the conflict phase as well. I'm not really a big fan of Artisan Academy personally. It is a 1x in this deck. That's probably fine. I think Imperial Storehouse is just strictly better though, because it actually draws you the card and it doesn't show your opponent what it is. The fact that Artisan Academy is repeatable is not really too much of a benefit. Guest of Honor is going to find Fertile Fields here. So that is going to mean a fate and a card for Mizumi. Can't complain. And we do see the political rival here. So both sides have favorable grounds. So if kinganj goes home, then Mizumi can just go home as well. And that is what we are going to see. So this does mean that kinganj can utilize his military attack. The political rival is a dash military, so he'll have to just do a political attack and covert this Guest of Honor. Ooh, and Artisan Academy finds Way of the Crane. Pretty unlucky there. Can't actually play this turn. And again, that is why I think that Storehouse is just strictly better, because if that were Storehouse, number one, this would be in your hand now, so you could play it next turn since you can't play it this turn. And number two, your opponent wouldn't know that you're going to draw it, or that you did draw it, rather. Interesting to note that Doji Mizumi is running 2 Bonsai Gardens. Hopefully we get to see some of those. Ooh, finds Meditations. That's fine. He had 3 fate on the rival, so it's not really the end of the world. He is going to go for the Earth Ring here. Did they both bid 5? Yes, they both bid 5. So the card advantage is because of the Artisan Academy not drawing him a card. Earth Ring is going to hit Legion of 1. So the cards are now 7 to 11. Pretty big advantage for Mizumi. Yeah, he needed that. So I guess you go Void. I think Void is going to be the play here. Pulling another fate off of this Guest of Honor, or sorry, political rival, seems pretty good. That means it will die at the end of next turn. Ooh, attacks another face down province and does find Manicured Garden, so will deny that other Seeker Fate, which is pretty good. He has a Bonsai as well. So he is actually going to break this Manicured Garden. I think that's fine if you're Mizumi. It does mean you lose this Kudaka, but not really the end of the world. He did go Void there, so this political rival will lose its last fate in the fate phase. Meanwhile, the Guest of Honor is still sitting at 2 fate. That is going to be sticking around for a while here, which is, again, exactly what you want in this matchup. This political rival can now attack for free into the meditations. Ooh, and we see Yoshi gets found here, but the players tied favor last turn, so he will not have favor to use Yoshi with. So I think you probably play, we see Kudaka get played here. Mizumi still has a pretty big fate lead. Yeah, you play the Doji Challenger. And then, as Mizumi, do you just pass, or do you go for the Samurai as well? We see that Way of the Crane used to honor the Doji Challenger. Sorry, I'm not keeping up with the game here. I was just responding to a couple things on the Discord. Let's see. So he did buy the Brash Samurai, and then kinganj just passed. Ooh. So Artisan Academy this time is going to find Soul Beyond Reproach. Again, a card that he can't really play at all. Like, I guess you could find or you could play a conflict character and then play it, but you would only get 1 honor out of it. So yeah, so the problem I think with Artisan Academy is that the likelihood of the top card being a card that you're actually going to want to play that turn is kind of low. Not only that, your opponent gets to see what it is so they can play around it if you do want to play it. So putting it in your hand is just like always better, I think. So I think Storehouse is just strictly better, like I was saying. There's a Steward of Law. This is military heir, so we could see a for shame here to bow Kudaka. He's going to play a Soul Beyond Reproach, though, so that will honor her, and that means if there is a for shame, he can choose to dishonor now. A little bit unfortunate that he had to spend the Soul Beyond Reproach. Would have been nicer to use like a Way of the Crane, but I guess he hasn't seen any of those yet. That was actually, well, not the first conflict card he played. He's already played 2, but the first one that's actually hit the discard. There's a fine katana on the Steward of Law, so maybe he's just going to try... Maybe he was just trying to prevent the break. We do see another katana on Kudaka. Yeah, this is a very swole Kudaka right now. He is going to get the break, it looks like, and Kudaka will trigger off the Earth Ring as well to draw a card and gain a fate. So pretty big win there for Doji Mizumi. He is now looking at a Challenger and a Guest of Honor, both honored against just a regular political rival here. So what kinganj can actually do, and what I think he should do, is go military water with the Challenger and just bow the rival before he can even attack. Ooh, he's gonna find the magistrate station here. For some reason, I keep thinking that magistrate station is an air province because it's a crane thing, but it is actually a fire province. So that's really good. That means he's going to get to ready this Kudaka here, and we see kinganj actually going for a fire ring. I'm not really sure about this. I think you should 100% go water here. Doji Challenger is going to move in Kudaka. So now Mizumi is just going to win this conflict on defense, I suppose. We see... Ooh, okay, so we see admit defeat, gonna bow the Kudaka, and Miyamoto's Fury bows the Challenger. So just a bow out on both sides. And that conflict will end 0-0. So what I think you should do here as Mizumi... actually, what should you do here? So you could go water here and unbow Kudaka. You could also just wait and defend. Or you could go Void. It looks like he is going for the water. Let's see what province he finds. Finds Fertile Fields. So I don't like not attacking meditations. This is going to deny the Secret Fate, I believe. But the other face down province was... Oh, never mind. It was Shameful. Yeah, he's running meditations instead of Magistrate Station. So yeah, that's actually fine. I was going to say if he is running Magistrate Station, then attacking a face down province is really risky here. This is 4 strength. He was hoping that this would be Shameful and he could just break it. That does mean that Shameful is under the Artisan Academy, so it'll get +1 strength. There is a Steward of Law. So I think we can be fairly certain that kinganj has at least one for shame. We do see the Way of the Crane here. I wonder if he drew that off of the air ring. Either way, that is going to prevent the for shame bow. And I don't think he has 2 for shames, or he would have bowed Kudaka. Let's see what kinganj has. Was that a 1 times in mid defeat? Yes, it looks like it was. So he can't have another one of those. What else could he have? I should probably talk about these splashes a little bit. I haven't mentioned those yet. So Doji Mizumi is running Dragon Splash for 3 Let Go, 2 Fury. Pretty standard there. kinganj, however, is running Lion Splash, which is pretty interesting. He's running 2 Heroic Resolve, 2 Legion of 1, 2 Stand Your Ground. So I'm not 100% sure on the Legion of 1. I guess that's just to get extra military skill, since Crane doesn't have a whole lot of that. Stand Your Ground makes sense. That is when an honored character would leave play, you discard their status token instead. It's a good way to keep your characters around for longer. And then Heroic Resolve is interesting. That's the 1 cost attachment. It gives +1/+1, and it has action if you have 2 or more rings in your claimed ring pool ready attached character. So just more ready effects. Always good. Ooh, there's a political rival. Let's see, does Doji Mizumi... Yeah, I guess he was afraid of... Ooh, wow, that's actually insane. So, I was about to say, I guess kinganj was afraid of the admit defeat. Yeah, you either had the 4 shame or the admit defeat. So he played the Steward of Law to block that, but then that turned on the 4 shame on the political rival for Mizumi. So that is actually, this is actually a huge win for Mizumi. Not only is he going to win this conflict and stand Kudaka, this also means that kinganj was forced to play this character with no fate. So essentially he just spent 4 fate and 2 cards to not win the conflict, which is really big. So as long as Mizumi can win this next conflict here, on defense, I think he should be in a really strong spot. Either way, it looks like he'll get the favor this turn. So I think Guest of Honor attacks into Magistrate Station. And you probably just go the ring that you don't want next turn, since you're going to be first player next turn. You can get a ring with Fate on it. Looks like he is picking the fire ring. That seems fine. Goes at Magistrate Station, yep. And Kudaka defends. So this is 5-5. So Mizumi not actually winning here. If he has like a Steward of Law, nope, just passes, okay. So he is just going to take the loss. If kinganj could somehow get the break here, that would obviously be really good, but I feel like if he had what he needed to win, he would have spent it on the earlier conflict. We do see a Court Games going to dishonor this Kudaka. And he does have the Force Shame, I think. So he can Force Shame now for an extra point. I don't think it'll be enough to get the break here, though. He has 0 fate, so all he could do is like double Force Shame, but if he had double Force Shame, he would have definitely played it. Ooh, okay, there's the Steward of Law. Wait. This is bad, right? This turns on... Yeah, this turns on Force Shame on Kudaka now. I actually don't know why he played that. I think that might be a mistake. This means that the Magistrate Station will break now. Yeah, like I was saying, it was like... It was a pretty good chance that kinganj had the Force Shame there. Like he was really kind of what's the word? He was really giving it away, I guess, with those Steward of Laws that he played. So kind of have to expect that. That does mean the break here. So yeah, I think it was a mistake to play that Steward of Law. Yeah, we can't see a noble sacrifice now. That is a positive. What he should have done was he should have played the Steward of Law as the first action. No, that wouldn't have made a difference. Because Court Games can't target a neutral Steward of Law, so he would have still had to dishonor Kudaka. Again, he does get the favor, though, which is pretty good. And if he can hold out a little bit longer, this crane board is going to be fading. Unless we see a stand your ground, of course. Ooh, there's a bonsai garden. We see Hotaru one fate. Gonna take the passing fate after this. Ooh, wow. Mizumi. So Mizumi has been doing that a lot this game. He just passes to deny the passing fate. If he has another rival, then this is pretty good. How many rivals does he have? 3 total. Only used 1, so pretty decent chance, I would say. Kinganj is going to drop his bid. I know he did assassinate earlier, so he was running a little bit low on honor there. Plus there were a couple of unopposed conflicts. Let's see. We have Hotaru and Guest of Honor. This is a pretty scary political attack. I wonder what ring he's going to choose. Maybe... So the hand... Wow, the hand size difference at this point is just massive. Looks like he's going to go Void and try and get the double Void on Kudaka. That seems strong. It also denies the Void ring from Mizumi, meaning that he can't kill off this Guest of Honor or the Hotaru. And like I said earlier, the Guest of Honor is just like such a huge card in this matchup. I think if Kinganj didn't find that Guest of Honor on turn 1, he would be in a much worse position than he is. That card just does a ton of work here. Kudaka is going to defend, maybe? So, I don't really know what Bonsai Garden does in this deck. I guess it synergizes with Kudaka since you want to go air anyway, and lets you keep drawing cards. It doesn't seem like a particularly good card, though. The art on it is really great. I could see maybe getting that on a playmat. Yes, he does defend with Kudaka, so if he has a rival, this will be 10 to 11. Not quite enough. That would prevent the break at least, which is significant. Yes, he does have the rival, and then you can go, I guess do a water poke with the Steward of Law, and if you have some Force Shames, you could even win that potentially. Ornate Fan on rival. Okay, he's actually winning this now, which is really good. If he can actually win this conflict, that's like a really big difference. That means this Kudaka will be sticking around for a couple more turns. I have to imagine Kinganj, well, he only has he only has 5 cards in hand, so yeah, it looks like he might just not have anything. And this Artisan Academy yet again finds a card that is not going to do that much for him this turn, or in this conflict anyway. It might do something later this turn. Yeah, so he would need 5 to break here. He really just wants to win this, I think. He doesn't need to break. Okay, he has a Way of the Crane for Hotaru. This is really good. You want to honor her anyway. And Mizumi, he has 3 fate. Let's see. Okay, he's just gonna pass. So yeah, looks like he will lose this conflict, and yeah, losing Kudaka is really gonna hurt him here. But he will still have the political rival next turn. Okay, I guess when no one says anything in chat, it just leaves that message there. Interesting. Yeah, so like I said, poke water I think is the play here. Stand up Kudaka if you win. He's going military. That is interesting. It was the other game where we saw 2 Voice of Honors. So yeah, no Voice of Honors this game. Again, only 4 cards in hand though. But Voice of Honor is very turned on if he has it. Ooh, wow, defending with both characters. That is surprising. Maybe he's just respecting the double for shame. Like as Mizumi, you just pass here, right? And bow both of these characters. I think you're just fine with that. It does mean you give up the favor. But, I mean, like, what can you do? It's 8 skill. And they're both honored. And there's a bonsai showing off of the Artisan Academy. So I think you just don't win this. We could see another conflict character from Kinganj. He could have the 3rd Steward of Law. Or I think... Yeah, I think he is running... Oh, they're both running 1 Goblin Sneak, actually. So yeah, we could see the Goblin Sneak as well. And then either of those can get bonsai'd for a break, or Legion of 1 also. Probably bonsai though, since it's there. But again, I don't think there's any way you win this, so you probably just pass. Yeah, and it's really crazy because Mizumi has... Okay, we do see a for shame, so he is going to try to win, I guess. Mizumi has just had a huge card advantage this whole game, and usually a fate advantage as well. But this Guest of Honor has just been shutting off most of the stuff he can do. We see Bonsai putting it 6-6. So Kinganj can use his Bonsai now. I think he probably will. So the good thing about this play is that it potentially stops the Goblin Sneak or Steward of Law counterattack from breaking, since he has to use the Bonsai. Unless he has another military buff, but we'll see about that. We see a soul beyond reproach. Okay. So if you have another for shame, ooh, let go. Alright, that's good. I was gonna say if you have another for shame, you for shame the challenger again, probably. But I think he probably doesn't. How many has he used, actually? Just 2? Yeah, so it might not have the third one in hand. Let go is actually very fine, though, because there aren't a lot of attachments in this matchup that you're going to be using that on anyway. I guess the heroic resolve, but he has 2 more, so it's fine. That could actually potentially be the play here. If kinganj wins this ring on defense, he could play heroic resolve on Hotaru and stand her up for the counterattack. That would be pretty wild. Let's see what he wants to do here. I mean, you have to win this, right, on defense. If you don't win this defense, then you're not getting the favor and you have no counterattack, so that's just like really bad. If you do win the defense, then you definitely get the favor. Goblin Sneak counterattack is dead now because he only has 1 fate. Yeah, so I think he probably just won't have a counterattack. But again, he has to win this on defense, so I think you do want to spend the bonsai. Just too big to let this go here. Yep, there's the bonsai. So do you small bonsai or big bonsai? There are... Well, he's already spent 2 fine katanas. Okay, he is just going to big bonsai. Uses them both on the challenger. That's fine, actually. Yeah, that's good, because they're... so there could be Assassinate, Admit Defeat. That would be a pretty sick combo here. You pretty much know that he doesn't have a cancel or he would have used it. So if you have a... It's 1 times of both cards, so not too likely that he has it. Yeah, and he is just going to pass. But I think that does mean... Ooh, there's the Heroic Resolve. Actually puts it on the Guest of Honor. Interesting. Oh, but he had a let go. Very nice. Very nice. Saving a let go for that. Yeah, you definitely... Because he did... It would feel really bad if he spent his only let go on that katana and then the Heroic Resolve stuck. So very good that he saved a let go for that. Oh, did he already use the Admit Defeat? No, I think it was... Yeah, it was the other player who used the Admit Defeat. Yeah, Doji Mizumi could have had the Assassinate on the Steward and then Admit Defeat the Challenger, but... Yeah, again, only 1 times of both cards, so didn't have it. Alright, so board is going to clear up a little bit here. Let's see. So we still have the Honored Hotaru and Guest of Honor, which is really annoying for Mizumi. Especially because with Stand Your Ground in the deck, it's actually possible that neither of these characters leave play this turn. Ooh, and he finds another Guest of Honor as well. There is the Kaizen. If you play the other Guest of Honor now, you're pretty weak on military. Yeah, I'm surprised that he's keeping the Artisan Academy as well. I mean, I guess that is kind of the point of Artisan Academy. Like, if you aren't going to keep it for multiple rounds, then you should just run Imperial Storehouse instead. But I think you should just run Imperial Storehouse instead anyway. I don't want to keep coming back to this because I've already talked about it a couple times, but I think Imperial Storehouse is just strictly better than the Artisan Academy. It's been here since turn 1, actually. And yeah, it is now turn 4, so that would be 4 turns. Yeah, definitely a bit excessive. The first two turns it didn't even hit a card that he could play that turn either. It was only on turn 3 that he finally got a card that he can play. How many storehouses does he have? 2 storehouse. Yeah, so he only has 2 storehouse in his deck. This Artisan Academy could very easily just be a 3rd storehouse. He only has 1 academy. I get wanting the academy to be good, but I think storehouse is just better. I think perma holding should be used for 2 turns and then dropped, except for like Imperial Palace. Yeah, definitely agree. You don't want to keep those permanent holdings around for too long unless it's one of those 1 per deck ones that are really powerful. Like for Crab, that would be like Iron Mine. You generally don't want to keep Iron Mine around too long because it starts clogging up your provinces. There are some cases you actually want to get rid of Iron Mine as fast as possible because it doesn't actually do anything until you discard it. But there are some cases where you want to keep it for an extra round. Turn off like Assassinate, Noble Sack, etc. Yeah, at this point he should definitely be looking for another Yoshi. We see Kaizen going to attack Earth. It had 2 Fate on it, so that's pretty good. The Bonsai Garden didn't do anything either. There was no air conflict that round, so literally a +0 blank holding, which is not what you want. But he does at least discard it, so it's not going to stay there and take up province slots. Doesn't really need the honor, so... So going at Fertile Fields, considering a defense with one of these guests. You can duel her, I guess. So if you duel her, what probably happens is it just ends, they both bid 1 and nothing happens. I don't think he wants to send Kaizen home. Yeah, Bonsai Garden could be good. I think it can definitely be good at certain times, especially in like particular matchups, like against Scorpion, like you're saying. But I think in general, it's just not that useful. Because like in a game like this, 1 honor doesn't really matter at all. So it's just a blank province. Artisan Academy is going to flip a Heroic Resolve here. So he can at least play that for a +1/+1 if he needs it. Have to win 2 rings to turn on the ability. We'll see if he can do that. So, waiting on kinganj here. So, wait, why did he play the katana? I'm actually not sure about that, because that didn't put him at breaking, and oh, maybe he was gonna play like a Way of the Crane or something and then realized that he can't play events. That's like the only explanation I can think of. And yeah, he does pass, so looks like he's fine with winning but not breaking. Sounds like a sequencing issue if you wanted to weigh Kaizen. Yeah. If he does have a way to honor that he wanted to play, he definitely should have played that before the conflict, knowing that one of these guests could defend. Maybe he just forgot the guest was honored and thought that this would break. I don't know. I mean, either way, I think it's there's not really a point in doing it. I'm not sure if I would call it a mistake necessarily, since it didn't really cost him anything. But we'll see. Like, this Kaizen does have 3 fate, so he's going to be just sitting here for a long time anyway, so you might as well put a katana on him, I guess. I wonder what he's thinking about. We've only seen one for shame. Does he have another assassinate? No, it is 1 times assassinate in both of these decks. Mizumi has not seen his yet. He does play a force shame. Gonna go ahead and bow Kaizen. Yeah, you definitely don't want to dishonor, because then you just get destroyed by Noble Sack. So yeah, that is going to mean no Earth Ring for Mizumi. And also, importantly, it means that kinganj now has 1 ring in his pool. 1 more and he can turn on this Heroic Resolve. I think I might have actually preferred an attack with the Brash Samurai there. If he force shames that, you can just dishonor and then honor him again. And yeah, he doesn't have another assassinate, so you don't have to worry about that. I don't know. We'll see. Yeah, the Brash Samurai would be at 2 strength if they traded the honor, which would still beat the Guest of Honor, who is also at 2 military strength. And then he had the Fine Katana if he really needed it. So kinganj gonna go at Fertile Fields. So attacking the firing. So this is pretty dangerous for Mizumi now. If he gets this firing, I think he will likely honor the Guest of Honor and dishonor the political rival, probably. We see a Steward of Law. It's not going to do a whole lot, though, since he can't play events. But yeah, I think we will likely see a dishonor on the political rival and then a noble sacrifice. Actually, you probably just dishonor both the rival and Kaizen in case he has a Way of the Crane. Oh, can't dishonor. Yeah. Yeah, that's wow, that's actually really good. I didn't realize that. So playing the Steward of Law into the conflict means that this firing actually cannot dishonor now. Yeah, that's actually a really good play. So that protects his characters here from the noble sacrifice. So now King Ange will just have to honor the guest of honor, I guess. Won't get the double ring effect off of this. Again, this will mean that Heroic Resolve is turned on. So he can stand up somebody. Yeah, if he has the third let go for the Heroic Resolve, that would be pretty insane. Again, though, we haven't seen any Voice of Honor yet. And it is very much turned on for King Ange. So if he has any of those, he has nothing to worry about here. So Fertile Fields is going to break. Let's see, what is under the stronghold here? It is Entrenched Position. And his next attack is military, so probably won't be able to break this turn regardless of what happens. We see a Way of the Crane on Kaizen. Yeah, so I think that was actually a sequencing error. I think he wanted to play the Way of the Crane in that conflict, but then the Guest of Honor defended, so he couldn't. So he probably should have played that before the conflict. It also took King Ange a minute to let that go through, which I think implies that he might have the Voice of Honor in hand. Yeah. Ooh, yeah, he has the Voice of Honor to cancel the let go. Nice. Mm. So we are going to see a Void attack here. He knows that this is Shameful Display. And this is political, so the only conflict character that we could see here is a Steward of Law. I think he still has one left. Yep. Wait, what happened? Ooh, court games. Okay, that's actually dangerous. Okay, he has his own court games. He's fine. But yeah, the only conflict character that could come down here is a Steward of Law, so he couldn't dishonor the political rival. So he should be able to get this Void Ring that will void off this Guest of Honor, bringing her to 1 fate. So it looks like Doji Mizumi is actually in a decent spot to stabilize this game. His whole board is going to be staying until next turn. Again, King Ange could very easily have a stand your ground to keep one of these, probably the Hotaru, in play. Even both, actually, but we'll see. That is going to be a break on Shameful, though. There's the Void Ring. So, let's see. As King Ange, currently you're tying the favor, right? 3 to 3. If you attack, it means the Bresh Samurai gets to honor himself. Yeah, Doji Mizumi did him a favor discarding the Artisan Academy there. If it actually doesn't matter whether you choose to discard it or not, though, because if you break the province, any face-up card gets discarded at the end of the turn. So it was getting discarded no matter what. So it didn't really matter. But yeah, I would definitely consider not attacking here. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, so he is just going to pass that attack, not give the Brash Samurai the opportunity to honor itself, and there will be 2 Fate on this air ring for him to grab next turn if he wants. We do see 1 Stand Your Ground on the Hotaru. And let's see what we find here. Ooh. So Mizumi finds Yoshi. Not really what he wants. He can play this challenger though. Kinganj finds. Ooh, Mia Mystic is not bad. Doji Challenger and Brash Samurai as well. We're going to see a dupe on the Kaizen. I think you should probably play the Challenger first, but I don't know if it'll really matter too much. Ooh, wow, Kinganj actually just passes here. Interesting. Not a very big board. Ooh, and we see Yoshi get played. Okay, so he has the Way of the Crane. Yeah, that makes sense. He just wants the really big stats here, and then if he can get the favor, he'll get to use the ability next turn. He does already have a pretty big card advantage though, so should be all right. Does he have the rival? I guess you're talking about Kinganj. Yeah, he's only played 1 rival. So there is still 1 left in the deck, and there are more cards in his hand than there are in the deck, so it's not a bad chance that he has it. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I think that's definitely what we're gonna see actually, the political rival come down at some point this turn. Ooh, there's the Goblin Sneak though. Gonna take Mizumi's last fate actually. Very sneaky. Yeah, yeah, that definitely is painful. Now he doesn't have to worry about things like admit defeat. I guess Noble Sack technically, if he could get that turned on. Let's see, what else? Steward of Law, has he played all his stewards? He's played 2 of his stewards. Man, sometimes when I cast more than 1 game in the same day, I get kind of confused sometimes. Like, earlier today there was another game with a Crane player in it, and I don't know, I'm getting like mixed up on what cards everyone's played already. Kinganj might want to deny the watering. He does not run ready for battle, so denying the watering could be good. You could just poke with the goblin, maybe. Or you could poke with the Mystic also. If you poke with the Mystic, that might... I don't know if that's better or not. Goblin poke, always good. Yeah, yeah, Goblin might as well just say, take 1 fate from your opponent. Like, as a character, he doesn't really do a whole lot. So he's pretty good for pokes. The Mia Mystic, yeah, he also has synergy with Legion of One. There is 1 of those left in the deck. You could actually get him up to +7. But yeah, it is entrenched position, so that wouldn't be enough to break. But yeah, Mia Mystic Poke would be good as well, because then after the conflict you could freely use him to discard whichever attachment you need to discard. There's a Fine Katana on the Guest of Honor. Okay. Sure. Yeah, that's a little bit confusing. I wonder what the play is here. Kaizen Duel? Yeah, maybe. Kaizen's at 7 military, though. Guest of Honor is only at 5. So Kaizen could still auto-win versus her if they both bid 5. He's gonna go ahead and use the Mia Mystic. So they are tied now, I guess. Yeah, I'm not sure what we're gonna see here. Politically, okay, there's the political rival. Say 5, 11, yeah, 14 political skill now. I don't think that's enough, though. Yeah, so you can covert Yoshi, but then the other rival defends for 8. Oh, 15 with favor, yeah. So 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, potentially up to 14 on the defense here. Might be enough. Yeah, if he has some four shames. Actually, let's check on that. So he's used 2 four shames. If he does have the third four shame, and he can... So maybe you leave Stewart at home so he can't force shame you. He could just have the Stewart force shame. We'll see here in a minute, I guess. How many fans? This is the only fan that Mizumi has played. Yeah, it's definitely risky. Looks like he's going for water. So Mizumi could still have up to 2 fans in hand. He could maybe throw the Brash Samurai in there and put a fan on him so he doesn't get bowed. Jeremy will get to use Bonsai Garden. Maybe. We'll see. Considering his board, he probably has to try. Yeah, it's happening. Ooh, it looks like he actually chose to go for fire. Interesting. So this might be a bait to try and get him to commit the Steward of Law. Oh, he had air selected for a second. Yeah, poking with the sneak, yeah, probably not really going to give him an advantage. So I think he should definitely not defend with Steward of Law because that turns on for shame. Seven. So this is 7 strength. If you just defend with these two, which he did, he's winning by 4. So if he has a way to honor Hotaru, then you need the fan. Yeah, Guest of Honor is definitely oppressive, especially in this matchup. I think including the Samurai is definitely worth considering. Like, you put Samurai in and you put a fan on him, if you have it. Ooh, there's a policy debate. That is going to be 6-4. Interesting. So I imagine that kinganj is going to bid 5 here. Oh, bids 4. Okay, that's still an auto win. Ooh, 2 game of Sedane. Oh, wow, he only had 1 fan. He should have definitely played the fan before that duel happened. And yeah, the more Crane games that I cast, the more I see that Game of Sedane is actually not good. Part of that is that it costs 1, which is you don't really want a whole lot of events that cost 1 unless they're like really good. Yeah, I think he should have defended with Samurai and put a fan on him. We'll see if kinganj has any honor here. If he has a court games, if he has already used Way of the Crane. Ooh, he has Soul Beyond Reproach. I believe that is going to be the win. There is no card in Mizumi's hand that he can play currently. Yeah, Game of Sedane. Yeah, when I first saw it, I was like, "Oh, that seems pretty good." But the more I see it, the more I realize that it's just not actually good. Yeah, and he's realizing that he should have played that fan first. That's something that's kind of easy to forget nowadays, I think, because you don't really see a whole lot of policy debate anymore since it is a restricted card. Playing around it is, if it is in the game, then playing around it is really important. Okay, he had a fan of his own. Yeah, so I think definitely defend with the samurai and put fan first action. I think that would have been fine. Yeah, no Hawk Tattoo powers. Hawk Tattoo would have actually been insane here. You just pull in Yoshi and win. Yeah, but he goes Fury instead. Yeah, so Mizumi is still on the 3 let go 2 Fury splash. Definitely, I mean, they're definitely good cards, right? But I think Hawk Tattoo is just too good to not run if you're splashing Dragon. Yeah, I think he's just a little bit behind the times on that. Yeah, Hawk Tattoo is just a better version of Fury, basically. Um, Fury is restricted. Well, he only runs 2 Fury. You don't necessarily need to run 3 Fury if you don't have the influence. Um, yeah, you could do. You could do 2 let go 3 Hawk Tattoo. I don't actually know what cranes are splashing. I know Shoot likes the Scorpion Splash, and I saw that Micah was on Scorpion Splash as well. Let me look at another deck list here, maybe. Nope, Scorpion also. Man, a lot of cranes are on Scorpion Splash. Yeah, I think 2 let go 3 Hawk Tattoo is good if you're gonna go with the Dragon Splash as crane. Okay, here's one with 3 let go 2 Hawk Tattoo. Probably fine also. Is Mark of Shame that much better than Hawk Tattoo? Personally, I don't think it is. But I guess a lot of cranes, like some cranes were on Scorpion Splash even before Hawk Tattoo. Here's another 3 let go 2 Hawk Tattoo. But Mark of Shame definitely helps the case for it. Like, Scorpion Splash is already good. Mark of Shame just makes it a little bit better, I think. But yeah, Hawk Tattoo is just such a good card. Yeah. Like, I feel like if I played any clan that wasn't Crab, I would probably be playing Hawk Tattoo. Probably. But yeah, again, the big hero of that game was the guest of honor. Definitely a really strong card, especially in the Crane matchup. Um, didn't check if he was running Rally. Yeah, if that was Rally, then that attack would have been actually really bad. Well, maybe not. Because he put the katana on. It would bow the political rival. Yeah, I did hear that there is an errata for Hakta 2 coming our way. So hopefully that'll happen. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. $11 military. Oh yeah, he was counting military. But yeah, that is going to do it for this game. So the winner of that game, kinganj, will go on to the top 8 to play against a Scorpion player, Manas PL, something like that. Wow, it looks like we're actually pretty far into the amateur bracket already. I'll go ahead and pull it up over here. So that was the game we just saw. Winner goes on to this matchup here. So kinganj will advance there, and then the winner of that will play Humblest Monk, who is on Crane as well. So either a Crane or a Scorpion getting through this half of the bracket. And then up here we have a Scorpion who's made it all the way to semis already. And then we're going to get a Crane versus a Dragon. So players left, 4 Crane, 1 Dragon, 2 Scorpion. So it looks pretty good for Crane, actually. We'll see what happens. Last time Crane made it to the finals as well, and then I believe lost against Anemone. But yeah, that is going to do it for this game. So I'm going to go ahead and wrap it up here. Thank you everyone for watching, and I will see you next time.